or good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depends the part of the globe you are watching us from. From here, I am, it is good evening, and of course, we are here again to discuss um, the issues that are worth discussing, and of course, by our standard, the issues that most people have not really gotten a true picture of what is happening, and that is why we are here this evening. To It is a kind of an in-depth discussionary class, and we want to talk about an issue of importance, very very important. Um, Book here. I have my pen here because this evening I want us to talk issues on it's not going to be more of academic work, but this is reality. We try as much as possible to break it down as much as we can so that people will understand what it means to live in a country like Nigeria. But before we move ahead, I want to confirm if I'm being received loud and clear. Very very important. If I'm being received loud and clear from your end, if that is confirmed, then we move ahead for this evening's discussion. Very very important. If you are getting us loud and clear from your own end, please someone can as well help us to confirm if we are being received loud and clear, so that we'll move quickly, so that people will understand the falsehood called Nigeria unity, the falsehood being peddled, being aided and abetted by the so-called media practitioners or journalists. People, these guys have institutionalized this falsehood, and it looks as if they are truth. But believe you me, there is no iota of truth to them. Please confirm if you are receiving us clearly, then we advance on this evening program. If you are getting my voice clear, you notify. Okay, thank you, Ebuna Uju. Yes, and I remember Ebuna Uju, I talked about bringing you in this evening on this evening discussion. But what you do, you can send me a request. I'm talking about Ebuna Uju. Let's see uh, how it works. But if you can't make it this evening for us to jointly discuss this issue, the issue of force unity, maybe we'll have to plan for it, Ebuna Uju, so that we know when else to have a joint discussion on this. But we must move ahead. We are looking at, most times you hear people ignorantly, people said, let's just be united, let's just live in unity and move ahead. Let us know that Nigeria is one, that we are one people, all manners of falsehood. And it mostly come from northern part of Nigeria and advancedly, popularized by the most of the gullible southerners. As a result, of course, they are the slaves. When you give them some tips, if you give them some money, you are little. Some of them who are looking for recognition, especially at this time of high unemployment, everybody wants to, get the attention of one politician. So he has to, preach about the unification of the estate of the politicians. Nigeria is the estate of the politicians. So he wants to talk about the politicians' estate, how to elongate this, estate business to this politician. So he wants to be, giving attention. You see such a fellow coming up and start talking what he or she does not understand as the content of unity. I want to say this because if you have read the topic of tonight or this evening's, if you have read, thank you. If you have read the topic or the title of this evening's program, you will understand that we are going to use 3 countries as a case study tonight. Very, very important to understand this. We are going to use 3 complex countries, 3 multi-ethnic composition or society to make our references, to give a classical allusion of our tonight's topic. And I beg everybody, especially those who talk about Nigeria unity, the gullible ones who don't even know what the word unity represents, who don't even know anything when it comes about the etymology of the term unity, I beg you to come in, send your friend request. Definitely I will bring you in, we talk. But remember, we are talking factual, not sentiment here. We are talking about, we are going to point out facts, evidence or evidences as a foundation to whatever postulations we are making here, because we are talking about reality, the business of humanity. So first of all, is Nigeria a united country from Adam? Absolutely. The issue, the answer remains no. Nigeria is never organically created to be united. And is Nigeria the only country you have multi-ethnic groups? Nigeria is not. There are countries that even have more ethnic groups than Nigeria. There are places, there are countries that have more differences or more composition of different people than Nigeria. But are those countries progressing? Are they advancing? Are they moving on? Are they still talking about one America? Like some people, for the past close to 100 years or over 100 years, from 1914 to 2014 is over 100 years, Nigeria is still preaching one Nigeria project, which means that for the 100 years test running of the unity, that it has not been holding watershed. But let's look at, that's why we pointed out countries we are going to, that's why I said we are going to point out countries. I think I'm trying to see how to make my voice to be more louder than the way it is, but let's see what we can achieve. So what am I trying to say? Nigeria is not, I think it should be better now. Nigeria is not the only country that have such multi-ethnic composition. Nigeria is not the only country, to be sincere and to be candid. There are countries that have such multi-dimensional human compositions. We have countries, are they moving on? The answer is yes, they are moving on. Are they receiving such, are they still talking about one Nigeria? Or are they talking about, are we still hearing one America? Are we hearing one UK? Sorry, Chizoba, you're talking about not hearing me well, but I believe, check if it's from your gadget, because I have enlarged my voice as much as I can. But if any other person is equally experiencing same, you can let me know. But I believe I'm coming out clear so that we can speed up. Please confirm. Chizoba Okafor is saying he cannot hear me, he or she cannot hear me well, but I believe I'm coming out clearer. So if anyone is as well experiencing same issue, you can as well let us know before we move ahead. Very, very important. If any other person is equally experiencing what Chizoba Okafor is experiencing, please you can let us know so that we'll move ahead for the discussion of the moment. But why I'm waiting for responses. Okay, thank you. While I'm waiting for responses, let's choose over. Thank you. Okay, thank you. So let's move ahead to what we are talking about. Is Nigeria the only country that have multi-ethnic composition? Nigeria is not the only country. You must understand this. But are these countries still talking about one US? Are they still talking about one UK? Are they still talking about one Emirate in UAE? The answer remains none of these countries is talking about it. They have outgrown. They have, in fact, they don't talk about that. And I want to tell you why they don't talk about that. Even in Ghana, Ghana is not even a mono-ethnic composition. Are they still talking about one Ghana? Absolutely none. Now, I will tell you why these people do not talk about or do not preach unity all throughout their existence as existence as a nation or nation state. The reason being that, first of all, they identified that they are not one. For you to solve a problem, you must identify or you must acknowledge the existentiality of that problem. All these countries we are going to use as a case study tonight, why they are not preaching unity even till today? Why they are not talking about disintegration? Why they are not talking about every union going to her direction? Is because they understood from inception or earlier before now that they are not one people. I will explain to you. Let's use a country like UAE, which you call United Arab Emirates. What is UAE? UAE, or who and who made up UAE? UAE is a combination of different emirates, different or 7 emirates, I think. And these 7 emirates, they understood that they are not one people. Understand this. That despite that they are controlled by emirs, despite that there is religious similarity, despite that all the emirates have Islam as their faith system, they told themselves the truth that no one could tell them. And what is that truth? That despite we are Muslims, we have our cultural differences. We have our anthropological differences. They told themselves this. And they said, okay, we are different despite practicing one Islam. But we want to form a nation. We want to form a country. Let us come together. Let us sit down and tell ourselves, this is what Abu Dhabi likes. This is what Dubai likes. This is what social emirate would like. And this is what social emirate would not like. 7 of us, are we ready to reach compromises? Are we ready to accept this, to tolerate this from this person, to tolerate this from this emirate? Are we ready? They agreed. First of all, they recognize that they are not one, despite one religion, which is Islam. UAE recognized that we are not one, we are different emirates. We can have one religion, but our anthropological differences are still there. Our ethnic differences are still there. And they came together and said, okay, this is give and take on the table of dialogue and negotiation. And they came together and said, from today, based on what we have agreed, this, we are going to answer United Emirates. United Arab Emirates. Remember, they have one religion. They have one race identity, which is Arab. They are all Arabs. But they are saying, despite that Islam is our faith, despite that we are of Arab loans, we have our individual's way of doing things. These are people who have one religion. And you could see the level of truth telling. They told themselves, despite we are one emirate, we embrace Islam, despite we are one Arab, yet for us to form a nation, we must acknowledge our differences. And when they acknowledged that, they came up to answer United Arab Emirates. United Arab Emirates. And today they are flourishing. Today they are doing well. Because Dubai would not want to impose what is acceptable in Dubai to Abu Dhabi. So would Abu Dhabi not impose what is a norm or way of life in Abu Dhabi to Dubai and the rest of the 5 Emirates that made up United Arab Emirates? So the truth is that they first of all acknowledge that they are not one. The problem most Nigerians have is that you want to impose oneness where there is no oneness. It's as simple as that. You want to tell me that I am one with an Hausa and Fulanima, when anthropologically, culturally, even by religion, we are not one. The UAE even have similar religion, which is Islam. And yet, they told themselves, we are not one. They are even one Arabs. They say we are not one. For us to form a country, there must be agreement on our differences. And that was how they formed United. The word is a united. And before unity proceed, there must be a discussion for compromises. They didn't say this is an Arab Emirate. They didn't say that. They acknowledged that there was a process of agreement. And that process of agreement gave birth to unity. Unnegotiated union can never be called unity. And there is no day anybody negotiated for the union called Nigeria. If you think contrarily, provide your evidence. There was no day anybody, not even my ancestors, agreed that there would be anything like Nigeria. It was a fusion, forceful fusion of a people, contrary to their belief system, contrary to their way of things. And that's why you can see in Kaduna today, over 300 underage children were chained, locked on in one bungalow. And when they were asked, why did you treat these children like this? They said they are under Islamic training or teaching. To the North is a way of life. To them, such a thing is acceptable. And to us, the Biafran people, if you do that, you have done abomination. You have done taboo. And in such a wide mental differences, somebody is coming to say, no, don't mind though, we are one. Are you stupid? The UAE people are one in faith, one Islam, or one Muslims. They are one Arabs, and yet they sat down to, discuss their union. So what am I trying to say? There is no basis for unity in Nigeria. There is absolutely no basis. And let's look at what most of us called UK today, United Kingdom. Are you aware that United Kingdom is made up of different kingdoms? We have the Scottish people, we have the English people, we have the Wales, we have the islands, the people from Ireland and not the rest of them. despite them finding themselves within Western ideological formation, they never fused anyone. I have used UAE and I'm using UK today. Are you aware that in UK, every kingdom, whether Scotland, whether England, whether any other part of the union, accepted there were bases, there were ground at which they discussed if they can form one nation. And despite they agreed that and formed United Kingdom, despite that there were processes that led to the formation of one United Kingdom, and they acknowledge that despite today that they have different kingdoms, but they came together for unity. Now, are you aware that despite the age long of this union, they are still reviewing every generation the basis for the continuation of this union? Take for instance, the English people are talking about being patriots. They are showing up nationalism, nationalistic tendency, saying they don't want to get a lot of European, the rest of Europe, they don't want them to influence them a lot. And when voting on the Brexit, the English people said, we want to maintain our unique identity. And that of the rest of the kingdom, like Scotland, the Scottish people are saying, we want to associate with the rest of Europe. The Scottish people are saying we are pro-Europe. The English people are saying, no, we want to maintain our monarch system, we want to maintain our unity, want to maintain our identity, we want our uniqueness to be maintained. We don't want external influences. And despite that these guys are United Kingdom, UK, a part of that unity, a part of that kingdom, which is Scotland, is saying, okay, if you today you say you want to maintain an isolationist policy, you don't want to integrate with the rest of Europe, we want to vote out from the United Kingdom. This is an age-long unity, even older than Nigeria. And today, because of ideological direction of the English people, the Scottish people are saying, then this union must be put to review. And somebody will tell me that even Nigeria, that there were no time this union was negotiated. There was no time my ancestors were consulted. And today we are saying we are not interested because the way you kill is not the way we kill. The way you are crazy with your faith is not the way we are crazy. We are saying the way your political philosophy is not the way we think. The way your economic, you are more of socialist society. And we are more of capitalist and enterprising society. And somebody is still saying there must be basis for unity. Do you see why something is fundamentally wrong with a black man? You can see why some people will regard blacks as animals. The Asians, where UAE falls in, they are one Muslim, they are one Arabs, and yet they sat down to discuss themselves. Until today, in their constitution, they are recognizing. That's why till today they are answering United Emirates. So they before they issue visa to you, they are telling you you're coming to an emirate that is not one, that we are united. We are not one. But one idiot is saying in Nigeria that we are one. One, even when the UAE people that have a linguistic one language, which is they speak Arabic. They have one faith, Islam. They have one ethnic affiliation, which is they are Arabs. Yet they recognize, they told themselves the truth that we are not one, but we accepted to be one. And that was how they came up with the United Emirates. But somebody is saying to me that even when I don't share same religion with somebody, even when I share historical differences, even when I share anthropological differences, even when I share faith differences, even when I share ideological differences, that I should pretend we are one. Isn't that an animalistic display? Doesn't that show that something is wrong with someone who thinks in that way? Now, United Kingdom, like I told you, the kingdom, the age of that union supersedes even Nigeria age. It supersedes the years of this falsehood called Nigeria. Yet today, people are questioning the union. Are you aware of that? That even till today, people are questioning the union. The Scottish people are questioning the union that holds them together. And somebody is saying, you cannot divide Nigeria. We have been together for so long. Shut up. You don't know anything about history. Nigeria is barely 100 years plus. If we are going to look at the amalgamation of 1914, barely 100 years. United Kingdom is over 200 years. And yet today, the Scottish people are questioning that union simply because the English people are saying, we don't want to associate with the rest of the Europe. And Scottish people say, no, we are Europeans and we want to identify with our brothers. And that ideological differences is putting question to the union. Now, our own, we have over 100 places of differences. In religion, we have differences. Language, we have differences. Culture, we have differences. Ideological, political ideology, social ideology, economic ideology, industrialization ideology. Everywhere there is no basis for unity. And somebody is saying, no, don't talk about this. Don't talk about this. You can see why this country will keep on becoming a backward nation. Because people like hypocrisy. People like hypocrisy. People see truth, they want to say it. People are afraid. Not just being afraid. People are too sycophantic that they want to appear contrary to what they want. They want freedom, but they don't want to say it because they want to be politically correct. They want themselves to be said they are politically correct. You can now say, okay, let's look at United States. I know why I pointed UAE, because most of you will say, UK is an old country, America is an old country. UAE started, of course, Emirates. Emirates started in 1979, started aviation business with Nigeria Airways. Why Emirates is today an international air carrier is because the foundation of the country is ideal. They understood their differences. They understood that they are not one people, but they want basis to be one. And today, every business in UAE is flourishing. Why Nigeria can never be progressive is because we are not one people. And we are lying to ourselves that we are one. And that's why Emirates started Emirates. The UAE started Emirates. And they understood that despite they are not one, they agreed to be one. So let's move this business. But when Nigeria started Nigeria Airways, yes, the Yoruba man can be on the management team. Of course, the Igbo man is to move the business by flying Nigeria Airways to go to China, anywhere to buy business. Then the Hausa man is to loot the money gotten from them. You see? The Yoruba man is to manage. Of course, The Igbo man is to push the revenue high, and the Hausa man is to loot. Why? Because there is no ground for them to believe that they are one. The only oneness they profess is a false one, falsehood. And that's why, how do I know you are a liar? How do I know how fake you are? When you tell me that we are one. When you tell me that Nigeria is one. That is how I discover the deepness of Satanism in you. That is how I discover how false you are. That you are not yourself, you are not real. Because if you're real, you should tell yourself first, the truth is that we are not one. Do we want to be one? Then we have to sit down and talk about it. Because the Arabs in the Emirates did that, and that gave them UAE. The people in UK did that, and that gave them United Kingdom. You see, let me say something. Are you aware that these countries, by the name they answered, they keep telling you that they are not one people? In fact, you must acknowledge that. United States is telling you that they are not one, but they came together to be one. And each time you hear United States, they are telling you we have our differences, but we came together. UAE is telling you that despite we are one, we are same Arabs, that we are not one. No, so we came together from different Emirates to form UAE. They are sincere to themselves. UK told you, well, there are Scottish people, there are English people, there are the rest of them. And so we are United Kingdom, we are different kingdoms, but we united. Now the most disunited lying nation, Nigeria, could not even answer United Nigeria as official name. They could not even answer United because they know there is no basis for unity. They said one Nigeria. Isn't that stupidity? One Nigeria. These ones that even have close similarity of being one, like if you go to UAE, you could say, but they are one Arabs, yes. They have one faith, Islam, yes. They have one language. There is one linguistic affiliation or unification. And yet, they say, yes, despite that, we have our small differences. The way the people in Abu Dhabi behave is not the way the people in Dubai behave. So it is. We acknowledge those our differences. They said, yes, let's tell the world we are United Emirates. We are different Emirates. We came together. But the most disunited part of the world, which is the contraption, came up and told you, Nigeria, one Nigeria. You can now understand the deepness of the evil inherent in Nigeria. And for your information, Nigeria unity is only when they have Ruga project. There is Ruga unity, but there is no unity in infrastructure. Listen, when you tell them, why can't Enugu airport be functional? Why can't seaports in Biafran land be functional? Hence we are united. Then they will remind you that a vessel that is coming to Nigeria, just watch their weak defenses, that this vessel that is coming to Nigeria could not reach Port Harcourt seaport, Warri seaport, or One seaport because those places are far for them to operate. Now ask them, why is it that the Ruga project cannot be in the north, looking at the proximity of those who are headers, the place the headers are coming? They will say, no, the project should be for Nigeria, irrespective of the distance. So you see, unity that is based on Ruga. And when it comes to infrastructure, the unity is now put to mockery. Hope you now understand what you call country. You now understand that Nigeria unity is only on Ruga or Fulanization unity. When they want to Fulanize everywhere or Islamize everywhere, they start telling you, no, we are one. But tell them, okay, if we are one, why can't the refineries in Niger, so-called Niger Delta area function? They will tell you, no, that we prefer to have a Grand Lock seaport, land seaport in Kaduna. We prefer to have a functional refinery in Kaduna, despite that the raw material is coming from Biafra land. You can now understand. Why am I saying this? Because it pains me when I see these children, these little kids coming on social media who are even, not even, I don't think they even understand the unity that holds their father and their mother. How much more than the larger issue we are discussing here. When I see them coming on social media to talk what they are naive of, I laugh. And same gullible or mentally weak fellow will tell you, ask him, which visa are you looking for? I'm looking for UAE visa. What does UAE mean? Dubai now, not be Dubai. Because he refused to read. And that's why he thinks that UAE is all about Dubai. He never knew, and he will never know that it is called United Arab Emirates. So you can now understand the danger you're facing. And whether you like it or not, the most shameful people, the most disgraceful people, and if I should go by extreme choice of word, I would tell that the most accursed people are even some of the Biafran people. Why do I say that? These guys are so mentally deranged that they refuse to understand that there is no basis for Nigeria unity. Nigeria is united simply because the rest of the nation is surviving by your own servitude. Because you are a slave, you are the hen that lays the egg, that's why everyone preaches unity. It's as simple as that. It is as simple as that. And that's why you see them, some of them will tell you, they come and start talking rubbish. If the unity of Nigeria, like some said, I think a few days ago, I read some said, I won't mention individual's name because what we're talking here is more than an individual. Somebody said United Nigeria will be better than Europe. And I laugh. United Nigeria will be better than Europe. How? Just tell me. Tell me how. Will it be better than Europe as what? Are you aware that the European Union, or let's say Europe, is a child of integration? When people say they are daughters, academic daughters, I wonder anybody can buy anything. Go to University of Awo, Awo, you get certificate you want. Are you aware somebody is saying United Nigeria will be better than Europe? Are you aware that EU is a child of integration? And in the course of the integration, there was basis for negotiation. People dialogued. There was consistent dialogue. There were consistent negotiations. And these people cannot even think on that. Or you think the European Union you're seeing, or the Europe you're saying Nigeria will be better? Do you think they just fuse everybody together? And when people want to say they want to move, like UK says she wants to vote out, they start gunning down everybody, killing them. Hopefully calling the UK people, maybe they start calling them terrorists because they are desiring for a better life. Did Europe, you say United Nigeria will be better than Europe? How? On what basis? You cannot equally tell them that the Europe you think Nigeria will be better than was a child of negotiation from political. In fact, they started from, I think, steel industry. They negotiated from that point. It was I think, uh, Luxembourg, France, and Germany in 1950s, if I'm not mistaken. They started that process of integration, which was born out of series of negotiation. I don't know when people say they are educated, they are PhD holder. PhD, my foot. You don't read. From that integrational process, from steel, they keep on negotiating to the point of having a monetary policy, I think in 1993, which later gave birth to what we know today as euro as a currency. Nobody imposed that on anybody. For those of you who come up and talk trash, every point of integrational process was born out of negotiation, extensive negotiation, mind you, not a dominated negotiation. Everyone's interest, everyone's concern was put into consideration for these people who come up and talk. But you want a united Nigeria that is devoid of negotiation, and you say you're trying to mess up. So we'll move ahead. Very, very important, we'll move ahead. So you are equating without you equally asking that Nigeria that will be greater than Europe, as some of us assumed. Are you equally asking, is it going to be a Nigeria that is going to put the interest of all the compositions on table? Or is it a Nigeria that the Fulanization process? Sorry, the network fluctuated a little while, but we must move ahead. So what am I trying to say? When people talk about making an inconsequential comparison, it really breaks my heart, because it shows that education, as some people allege in some quarters, does not have the. Sorry, the network was somehow problematic, and let's see what we can do. The network was somehow trying to mess up the whole thing, but we must move our head. Very, very important. We must move ahead. So, over to what we are talking about. So, when you understand Soviet Union, USSR, Union of Soviet States, wasn't even a democratic nation, or her democracy was not that of the Western context. But yet, they acknowledge Soviet Union was called a dictatorship society. But do you know that even at that point, had all the military power to hold the unions together? Do you know what union is? People coming together from their. That's what union means. Soviet Union acknowledged that. Somebody is telling you, don't even say you are different. Don't. And when you ask them, they say one Nigeria. That is rubbish. That is pure rubbish. And that is the height of deception and lie. When you call the word Nigeria, there have never been any time the people agree to be together. And somebody will try to tell me, no, don't mind. Don't mind all these things. Don't mind important things. And when you ask this person, in fact, I think let me touch more on these religious fellows. Very, very important, especially the so class. Even you that is born again, did you got born again? The ones that will come up with this God want us to be one slogan and all this, and ask them a question. That day you got born again, did you got born again without preaching negotiation? You got born again, you say, Lord Jesus, come into my life, I accept you as my Lord and personal Savior. Isn't that true? That process was a process of sealing a deal. Jesus gave you an offer, and you are a country where there was no time an offer was given. And even when people say, can't us renegotiate? Because we never knew how the whole thing started. You say, kill them. And some stupid set of people who even said they know God will be defending the indefensible. So you can now understand how it was. You can now understand how it was. So what are we trying to say today? USSR acknowledge their differences and say we are united, we are union of sovereign states. United States acknowledge and say we are United States. UAE acknowledged, and even UK and many of them. And the contraption, the zoo, is trying to tell you that everyone is one. That is pure, pure, pure. In Biafran land, you cannot have 300 children handcuffed in a bungalow. It happened in Kaduna. And somebody was asked, he said, no, it's part of Islamic. Our proceeding is becoming so challenging due to the poor network at this moment. So what am I trying to say? A country that lives in falsehood will be destroyed by the same falsehood. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter how anyone thinks. Nigeria is banned. She's proceeding on a speed lane to her Waterloo. It's as simple as that. Because from origin, she was founded in lies, and with lies, she has been sustained. And today, people are beginning to ask questions. And you know one thing with lies, you can lie yourself into a thing, but you cannot continue sustaining that thing with lies. One day it will be exposed. And that's exactly what is happening to this country today. So what am I trying to say? Anything or any action known as One Nigeria is an aberration. There is nothing in reality like One Nigeria. And there will be nothing like that. So I would like to thank everyone that joined us this evening. I tried to bring in too many persons, but the network. Sorry, maybe we would like to have to see if we can provide uh, a call line where people can speak, call in and speak. Because I try bringing too many persons in so that we can hear your various opinions, including everyone who was just sending in requests. I try to accept it, but believe you me, nothing worse, absolutely nothing worse in Nigeria, and it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. So, nevertheless, let's see how it goes. If we can provide a call line where people can as well call in and talk. Uh, Nevertheless, I think we have done much we can, and you can see that remains, the country remains the lie of the century. I think she is a strong falsehood to black race and to African continent at large. Very, very important. So I want to say thank you for following us. And may Chukwuka Abịama pụrụ ime ihe niile preserve us, preserve the Biafran project, and above all, keep on disgracing our enemies. In all their conspiracies, may Almighty Chukwuka Abịama pụrụ ime ihe niile keep on destabilizing them. They will plan, they will master and perfect their antics. But God Almighty